Tammy, and I'm here with Tammy Gold. Hi, Tammy. And what was your maiden name, Tammy?
Hovey. Tamara
Hovey. Oh, is that how they pronounce it? Hovey.
Hovey,
so
that's
it's
right.
Serge Hovey was your brother?
That's right.
Because I remember from the dinner party, your mother was a writer, right?
Yes, she was a screenwriter.
A screenwriter. And what was her name?
Sonia Levine.
Sonia Levine, right. And what films did she do?
She did dozens of films. Not more than, she did 100 films actually. She has 100 scripts. She did like, I don't know, Quo Vadis and all kinds of films over the years, over many years.
Yes. And what are you showing there?
Well, I studied in Schoenberg's composition class at UCLA, and for our term paper, we had to write a composer rondo and turn it in, and then he gave it back to us all, and here's the composition. Here's a composition with his corrections in red ink, and here is a letter from Gertrude, his wife.
Oh my goodness.
Which really authenticates it, because she sent it to my mother, and so she said that the corrections on red ink are Schoenberg's, and the comments.
They certainly are.
Aren't they?
Yes,
Aren't they really?
May I show them for a minute?
Of course.
And come in on it?
Yep.
Where were you pointing, Larry?
Well, here it says this modulation is too rapid. Where is your contrasting middle section?
There you are.
CA, and then there's some other, there's the measure. He put in some,
full of corrections.
he put some measure notes in there to refer to it.
Yeah,
It's very interesting.
This was your own exam,
Now here's
made
Yeah.
especially for you? Did he make a special exam for you? That's what he did?
We all had to do it. And then I found a note to my mother all about what happened in class when we turned them in. So I don't know if that's interesting, but I thought it might be. So that's in here. I just left it as it was. And here is Gertrude's.
And that's a letter from our
Yeah,
mother.
and then,
Oh, there's big round.
and then these are Serge's notes on several of his sessions, with Schoenberg. So, anyway,
So you actually were in, did Serge take classes with Schoenberg
no,
also?
he didn't. He
So-
took private lessons in this room. Yeah.
And you were at UCLA, or did you take
No, I
lessons
took
at the
it.
class
No, I
too?
was part of the. Mostly, it was for people who wanted to be students who wanted to be teachers, music
I see,
teachers.
I see.
And so that was a required course. You had to take composition, and you had to take another one about orchestra works, and you had to, so that was a required. So they didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know how wonderful it was, really.
Yeah.
But it was interesting. And he had a blackboard in which there were staff, musical staffs on them. And when he didn't know what else to do, he would just get up there and write progressions and cadences. He said you could do this, or you could do this. And Leonard Stein was his assistant. You know Leonard.
I do.
And so Leonard would play, whatever he had to play with all the staffs and everything. He was very clever.
We went
And,
through a year of litigation.
That is amazing, that is terrific with the markings.
When
and stuff.
when was, do you remember when this was?
Well, it must have.
Is it,
Is there a date on
I
it?
don't see any dates on this.
Well,
This
it
was
must have-
the thing, it's from Serge, that's in 1937, that I
It
know.
must have been must have been in the early 40s, so it must have been 43.
And that was here
That was
in the
here.
house, so you were,
No, this was at school.
this was
at
UCLA, and
And this is at this house.
this is from the house.
Yeah, and I
Okay.
think there's a note of my mother's in there too, explaining it.
Uh-huh.
He had, I demurred about 5.
He took the films,
I wanted to give them some.
because
No,
we,
the film, my brother and I both had.
you
had
each took those
cameras.
films?
And we, here you can have this too, that explains what happened in the
Yeah,
class.
yeah.
Well, I crossed out what's irrelevant.
Yeah,
We took films of everybody that came to the house.
right,
So this one, this CD,
right.
it may be what you have in the museum in Vienna.
In
I'm
Vienna,
not sure.
yeah.
But it's only 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And it has an awful lot of footage of,
Right.
a great deal of footage
Yeah.
on Schoenberg.
Yeah.
In the beginning, and then there's some other people in there
Right,
that came.
right.
Bertrand Russell, and
right.
there's some short bit on Aldous Huxley.
Right.
And then again, there's another long stretch at the end. About with Schoenberg talking with
Yeah.
Dr. Fisher and
And I think,
Richard
is that the one
Yeah,
where,
Bulik,
where
yeah.
Bulik was there?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's
Was
right.
Thomas Mann
Yes,
part
and
of, Thomas Mann was,
yes, that's
was
in
part
this
of
too. I
that,
think
yeah.
in the
I
lounge.
cut
Yeah.
out all the high school graduations, the naked babies on the beach and all
Yeah.
that. I cut
Yeah.
that out and just left
Yeah.
what might interest you.
Yeah.
Do you know this room then in the whole?
In this room,
Well, this is wonderful.
this was all out at
This
the
was his
beach.
study, yeah.
No, no.
Oh, this
nobody
room.
got it.
No,
Yeah.
this room was, I remember this room, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I
This was
remember the
his study
piano
here.
over there
You can
too,
see
because
how
when he had, all
Yeah,
his
in
pupils had to do.
the piano was in that room, and there was,
That's right.
well, I don't know if the harmonium was also in there, was it
don't
the
remember the
harmonium?
harmonium.
Because it was,
He had one day, he had all his
Yeah.
students,
We did this
but
one.
his advanced students.
yeah,
but I wasn't.
Not from UCLA,
Yeah.
you know, real composers.
Yeah.
And he had a concert, they had to do, each one had to play a composition.
right, okay, I know,
different ways.
I've
Remember this?
read about that, I don't remember it, I wasn't, I may not have even been born, but if I,
Well,
but it would have been
born?
in 1941.
I see,
So,
no, you, so, and,
Ronnie was born in 37, so.
I see.
So if he remembers
so
it, he
you're
would have
the,
been
you're the kid brother.
on
then.
the youngest, yes.
Yeah, but you taught math at Pally
Yes,
High, right?
exactly,
Yeah,
yes.
that's right.
Yes, yes, yes.
Because I found a note that by,
Well, no,
that you also had a symposium on Schoenberg in Northridge.
When I knew him.
Yes.
That's when
yeah,
Serge
Yeah,
reminisced about
When he was
Schoenberg.
young.
I don't know if
Well,
you
these
have a
are old.
record of
I mean,
that.
These are pictures when he was old.
How
He's
old?
younger
How
I
from
don't
old
know,
was
I don't know, I don't know.
Almost that.
The Malibu house.
No, my mother.
Oh, your mother's
Yeah,
house.
she
I see.
built it years before to go away and be able to write in peace, but we all came anyway, so.
How often did they go up there? Was it
Every
very-
weekend, we'd
So it
drive
was a
out
regular,
there. yeah.
and my
Yes,
father too would come
he
up pretty
came-
often?
Came often, and he
Yeah.
would arrive, he'd say, "We are six."
Yeah,
And so they was always say, "We are six," and he had a good time there,
Yeah,
he did. He
yeah.
would stay, because once I remember, he stayed all day, and then he wanted to stay in the evening too, so we all let him, came in shorts, so.
Yeah, it
everybody
also got
found-
cold in the
Yeah,
evening,
we
so
found somebody slacks here and somebody
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
we put Nuria to bed in my
Yeah.
bedroom,
Oh,
and,
great.
you know, it was nice,
Yeah.
it was very nice.
Yeah, but I
But,
mean,
fun.
it's active joy.
Well, thank you, Tam.